Well, and it's time once again for the minimally awaited, but seriously belated, Sergeant Mambo's Appletree of Weirdness podcast episode 2 for October 2012. You just heard some music from a gentleman who calls himself Andre Yule. Rather interesting bloke. And he is based out of Berlin. We will hear a little bit more from him later on in the episode. But you know how the Sarge likes his strange and peculiar electronic music. Plenty of that to be found over at Bad Panda Records. Absolutely love that site. Every week they release one free song that is released under a Creative Commons license. Just love that site. And I guess it's really kind of considered a web label. But lots of interesting music, lots of interesting artists over there, lots of strange and peculiar sounds to be found, which certainly is befitting this podcast. A podcast devoted to the odd, strange, unusual, and downright bizarre. So let's get right into it. Speaking of, the few odd and strange things you might need to check out. Trust me, whenever I say this, this is one that is worth your time. you might be familiar with a little site called hackandmod.com. Very cool place to visit on the old interwebs. But anyway, if you go over there, make sure you take a look for Transforming Desk. You will not be disappointed, I promise you. I absolutely love complicated pieces of furniture like this. And what will blow you away is that this bad boy was built in the 1700s. And they actually display two separate desks. I may try to put a link on the blog over to that to those videos or to that site. But each of the desks that they are showing are amazing, each desk in their own right. So again, that is found over at hackandmod, HACKNMOD, hackandmod.com. Very cool site. There's also an interesting organization. It's very high on the geek scale, but you might still want to have a lookie and see what goes on over there. Now, I don't know if they pronounce their acronym in some strange way. It's PLOS. PLOS, possibly. It's not too terribly extremely weird, or maybe even really all that odd, but it is an organization that publishes scientific journals, all of which are completely open source. And I am a huge believer and lover of things that are open source or Creative Commons licensed, things of that nature that you can get a hold of, hack, take a look at yourself, and do with as you will. So that's kind of what makes that special. Some of the items they search that they publish are pretty high level. But their journals are peer-reviewed, so that certainly matters. If you want to do a search for that, PLOS, an organization. Okay, now, for something that's odd in a much more concrete way, I stumbled onto a free game that you might want to look into, entitled Revenge of the Sunfish. And trust me whenever I say this, this game is a real doozy on the odometer. Trust me on that one. It can be found at, of course, revengeofthesunfish.com. A very weird, very strange, and very abstract game that defies description on many, many levels. Okay, and now I'm going to bring up something about a world record. I think I'm really going to go off into a world record diatribe, maybe in my next episode. I'm pretty fascinated by strange world records, and always have been for most of my life. And this, we're gonna start doing something kind of regular on the podcast about. There's no we. Let's just be honest, right? There's no we. There's me. Okay, there's just me, the Sarge. So I'm going to start doing something kind of regular in terms of world records. So here's one that you might not be aware of, but I came across it and thought that it might work well into the podcast here. Okay. In 2010, the world record, hold on just a minute, the world record for most consecutive table tennis ball bounces on the spine of a, that's right, I said on the spine of a table tennis paddle was set at 20. There's a world record for that. No, not like bouncing the ping pong ball on the paddle like you've done, and you and your friends sit around, oh, look, I did it 32 times. Oh, look, I did it 34 times. No. This is on the spine of the paddle. The spine, okay? 20 times, 20 bounces. The edge, you know what I'm saying? Upright. I don't think I could do 3 myself. I'm pretty sure I couldn't do 3. Allegedly, that record has been broken 9 times. since it was set in 2010. Trust me, the Sarge is going to do some further investigating on that matter, and I promise you I will get back to you on that one. All right? For now, let's have another little musical interlude from our old friend Mr. Yule, and we'll come back and talk about a few other items in just a minute. But for now, enjoy. Okay, a few minor tidbits here. Stumbled onto a fantastic book at Half Price Books, located in Dallas, Texas. Greatest retail store on the planet. Many Half Price books are listed all over the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. I've been to some in Austin, several all over Texas. They might be elsewhere in the U.S. I can't swear to that, but anyway, came across a great book of strange and bizarre lists that was compiled by listverse.com. Are you familiar with that site? An interesting site, listverse.com. And got a few odds and ends to share from there. A list devoted to 2009, they have a bit on there, a list devoted to strange phobias. Now, I'm not going to go too deeply into all this, but there is a phobia, and I'm not making fun. I'm a social worker by profession. I'm not making fun, and phobias can be a very serious and very painful thing indeed, and very debilitating for most people. But hey, this is the Appletree of Weirdness podcast. You know, we're not diving into mental health too much here, so we'll just kind of keep it on the surface. Strange and peculiar phobias. Phobia of crossing the street. That's a real and legitimate phobia. Did you know that? A phobia of cooking. Now, strangely, the speculation is that this fear actually begins with, or the bedrock of this fear, is that you feel that other people are a better cook than you are, that other people are more skilled cooks than you are, and that's kind of how the fear begins. A fear of mother-in-laws. Did not know about that one. A fear of mother-in-laws. That was certainly kind of interesting. A fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof of your mouth. Didn't know about that one. Pediophobia, a fear of dolls, which is often manifest also in a fear of mannequins and a fear of robots, a fear of anything that is a sentient being. That's kind of peculiar. We may explore that later on in the show. Some of the items that were in the book, I can assure you we're going to visit in upcoming episodes. But the beauty of Listverse is they have some different categories: bizarre, entertainment, general knowledge, lifestyle, science, all sorts of things like that. And they have lists like 10 creepy and bizarre suicides, 10 shocking documentaries, things of that nature. And so this is the kind of stuff I can just read all day. I hope it's interesting to you. But basically, that's going to wrap it up for this episode, episode 2. Thank you for listening to Sergeant Mambo's Appletree of Weirdness podcast. I've got a blog over at Blogspot. You may have certainly linked to it. Right now, all of my podcasts are essentially sort of video podcasts, if you will, or vlogs, whichever term you prefer, that are actually hosted on YouTube. But I've got the blog over at Blogspot and the stuff going on there at YouTube. But I'm also going to try to create maybe an email so you can contact me directly, maybe even a Twitter feed in the near future. But episode 3 will be coming out pretty soon, and certainly try to increase my turnaround speed. So this has been Sergeant Mambo's Appletree of Weirdness podcast, episode 2 for October 2012. Thanks for listening.